I sure will. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bow ready, please. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we do thank you for this day and the blessings, Lord, for so many. Father God, just go with us as we go into this commissioners meeting, Heavenly Father. Just open our minds, Heavenly Father. Clear minds, Heavenly Father. Let's do what's best for the county and go with us as we move this meeting, lead, guide, direct us, and everything we say in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Hopefully, in 2 weeks, we should have the elevator fixed at the courthouse, and our meetings will be right down there, so. Go from there. Agenda. I'll make that motion.
I don't think we gotta do that, because somebody I heard we might have something we want to derail from, go off of a little bit.
And there's a process for amending the agenda.
Not too what?
There is a process for amending the agenda.
All right,
Do we have a motion from Ty to approve it as it stands currently? Second?
I approve to go by the agenda. It's confusing enough. Aye. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
yay.
Tony? Opposed?
Paul Humphrey.
Not here. Wes Bowers? That'd be you.
That'd be me.
Come up and yell. We don't have a microphone, Paul.
Oh, that's all right. I'm pretty sure everybody can hear me. Oh. So you see what I'm on the agenda for. You guys have me on the clock, so I'm just gonna read this thing and then we can go from there, because I don't come to very many of these, so I don't know the procedure.
You're okay.
This is, I'm here today to discuss the proposed construction of a new 4-H building at the Washington County Fairgrounds. I have several questions regarding this project and the conditions surrounding it. I've been told it is the intent of the Washington County Commissioners to build a new 4-H building using a DOT contract. My understanding that the DOT, stands for Build, Operate, Transfer Process, was designed for and traditionally used for large-scale projects such as the Lewis and Clark Bridge. In this bridge project, it's easily understandable how the contractor assisted with construction funding and recouped his money through the toll bridge until requirements were satisfied, at which time total control and ownership of said bridge was transferred to the government entity. It's unclear to me why this contracting model has become the go-to approach for larger construction projects within Washington County. Pertaining to the project in question, is it the intent of the county for the chosen contracting firm to operate, lease, or take possession of the 4-H building, or is it the intent of the county to lease the newly constructed 4-H building from the chosen contractor? According to information obtained from the Indiana County Commissioners, or the ICC, the following guidelines must be followed when using the BOT contracting model. For those who are unaware, the ICC is a nonprofit organization tasked with training, education, and advocacy for commissioners throughout the state of Indiana. They state, when using the BOT contracting model, the governmental entity must solicit proposals through an RFP, which must include the following: factors and criteria to be used in evaluating proposals, a statement concerning relative importance of price and other factors, a statement concerning whether proposals must be accompanied by a certified check or other evidence of financial responsibility, a statement concerning whether discussions may be conducted with offerors for the purposes of clarification to ensure full understanding of and responsiveness to the RFPs, and a notice of the RFP must be published 2 times, 1 week apart, with the second publication at least 7 days before proposals are due. With these requirements in mind, I would like clarification on the following questions. It is apparent the county 4-H building project has been discussed by our county commissioners on more than one occasion. Did these discussions occur during a public meeting or in an executive session, and are these meeting minutes available to the public? Number two, do construction plans or project scope exist for the 4-H building project? If so, who developed said plans or scope, and are they available to the public for project bidding purposes? Number three, have engineering or construction firms been contacted regarding the 4-H building project? Number four, is it the intent of the Washington County Commissioners to solicit a request for proposal via public notice as required by Indiana Code? If so, where and when do commissioners intend to release said RFP? Number five, have any county funds been dispersed relating to the 4-H building construction project? Number six, and lastly, while I understand that demolition and reconstruction of a building the size of the 4-H building is a large and costly project.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bauer, your time is up.
I got about 6 lines here. Would you like me to continue?
Yeah, go.
What I do not understand is why this project would use the BOT contracting model. It would appear that the construction of a single building would be better served by the conventional bidding process, in which a minimum of 3 bids are taken from technically and financially qualified bidders, where the low bid is awarded the contract. This would allow for the certainty of a quality project while ensuring the best use of taxpayer dollars. If the commissioners do not want to spend the money for the engineered construction plans, the project could also be bid in the same manner using the design build process based upon the requirements and scope of work developed by the commissioners. I would greatly appreciate answers and clarifications to the questions I posed, and I would like to thank the commissioners for their time and allowing me to speak here today.
Thank you.
As of right now, that we know is, I don't know.
Well, I can answer his questions, put his mind at ease. First of all, I don't know where you're getting your information. We're not doing a BOT. It's not a good fit for this project. We're going to do a design build. We will be taking bids beginning about the 1st of April. And deadline would be, you're gonna have 30 days to submit your plans, and that's basically all there is to it, so.
Will there be an engineered plans or a scope?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
from you folks as far as what you?
Yeah, that will be provided, yes. Yeah, so it'll be, of course, we don't have a newspaper, unfortunately, more I understand, we might be getting a newspaper again. Thank you. Which is a good thing, so, yeah, it will be in every publication that's available to us, and website, all the above.
And when did you say you expect roundabout time? I'm not holding you to a date, but
Yeah, we're kind of on a timeline, so, yeah, around the 1st of April.
1 April, the RFP will drop.
Around the 1st of April. We don't have an exact date yet, but it will be, it'll have to be public notice for 30 days.
That's what I need to know, Jim.
Yeah.
Again, I apologize, I'm going off what I've never heard. So
It
I
has
just want
tendency to do that around here. Thank you.
I would encourage you in the future and everybody, that's what I was getting ready to say. Anytime you like, our phone numbers, everybody's got our numbers, believe me, they do. So anytime you want to call any of us, if you have any questions, I don't care if it's one question, feel free to call us. Okay?
No, I appreciate that completely, I was just looking for the clarification.
Yeah.
That's everything more your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm just fine. I've got just a few sheets left. We'll go ahead and let's go ahead and. All right, 3 minutes, so this is gonna be quick. David Lyles is not a Democrat, never has been. Also, Lori Gilstrap voted as a Republican this last election. So effectively, and we've had an argument, I love Adam to death. We had a little argument in the way, but look, Lori Gilstrap voted as Republican in the last primary. And as a picture of the agenda before had the Plan Commission putting forward a comprehensive plan. And I see that it's been taken off, which is excellent, because I've written down all the laws regarding it also. As far as like having a 10-day public information, open to the public for 10 days and then having the hearing just like with the ordinance. Now, it can be argued that the planning board has been illegal for 8 years. Hundreds of thousands of dollars has been spent on this organization that has not provided legal hearings, has not provided support for the community, and been a drain on our public. I'd really like you to go ahead and dissolve it. But if you're not going to dissolve it, you maybe really want to follow the law. Because what you're taking on is you're dealing with people's property. This board can have people's property torn down on a whim. You're such a drain on our local economy. I can't see why you wouldn't shut this dumpster fire down. But do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Bill?
Not at this time.
All right. Are we good? Okie dokie.
Thank you, Ron.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Item number 4.
I'll yield my time for the moment.
Lucy Gray,
That's me.
how are you?
Better than I deserve, actually.
Well, you look nice, you're ready for it, it's a bright morning,
Thank you.
sun's out, no snow, we're ready to go.
I've got a 9-year-old dad who's on his way out, sadly, but every day above ground is a good day. And I appreciate y'all being here.
Been there.
Timer started? Awesome. Let's see. 407 years ago, wrong speech. We're here to talk about the bundle of rights and the attack on citizens with the current iteration of the zoning ordinance and document. People talk about taxation without representation. Well, taxation with representation pretty much sucks too. We have the right under the Constitution to be secure in our property and in our papers. We have the right to not have an unlawful taking of our property, which is why we have eminent domain laws that require that people be compensated fairly. Now, those of you that passed government in high school probably know that fascism is defined as the private ownership of your property, but with the public control. The government has control of your property. So there's not much reason to own property if you're not in control of it, and that throws us right into fascism. We've had issues on this board, as Rhonda just brought up, with 2 people that I was told in this board meeting were actually Democrat. And when looking at the public records, we find out that those 2 people, Lori Gilstrap and David Lyles, are actually Democrats. Our planning board requirements by law require that at least 2 of those people be of the opposite party. That clearly hasn't happened. Now, I don't know if the young lady in front of me, April, are you an attorney for this?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. So you told me that you had researched this, and you reassured me 2 meetings ago that Lori Gilstrap and David Lyles had both voted Democrat. And I felt kind of personally attacked, like you thought that I was lying when I said that they were Republicans, but the public records clearly show that. I know David Lyles personally. I texted him and asked him if he was a Republican or Democrat, and he failed to respond to that text. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I agree with Rhonda that the planning board has been illegal for the last 8 years. Todd, am I wrong in saying that Andrew Cat is your son-in-law?
Yes, he is.
So is that a violation of the Indiana nepotism laws?
No, because there's no compensation for board members.
Oh, so it's okay to get your family voting? I mean, I can't get my family voting here in the county, whether I paid it or not. So I'll do a little bit more investigation on that before I make any accusations.
That point is moot because due to all the borderline death threats because of what some in this community tried to stir up, he resigned from the board.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I think
Yeah,
you should have resigned
somebody
from the
should be
board
sorry.
much earlier. And I think the death threats are terrible. Obviously, those
That is
didn't come
not
from me.
nepotism. I looked into it before I asked you to serve on the board.
Okay, I'll look into it as well.
You go
My
ahead.
main concern for the good people of Washington County is that there are 18 occupations that are normal and ordinary, and that you would seek to create obstacles or even outright prevent people without permission. Such as me, I have a little plant nursery. I sell medicinal, edible, and culinary plants. But other people who might have a barber or a beauty shop are going to face limitations: auto vehicle sales, repair, freight trucking, heavy manufacturing, restaurants, salvage yards. Strange things. I don't know if any of you have Airbnb or Vrbo's. Those seem to be okay according to the ordinances. While somebody operating a bed and breakfast is required to live on site and have that as residence. And then other restrictions, even if they have a commercial kitchen, not being able to offer dining service to the public, but only being able to offer dining services to the bed and breakfast. So with your comments in between, thank you for the little bit of latitude since Todd took up some of my time. I'm just here to protest and say, hey, the good citizens of Washington County deserve all of the rights that come with our property and not to have any of those rights separated. I don't want to see us as a fascist state. I escaped Fishers to come here and look for freedom. Because Fishers ain't free, but I was hoping Washington County is. You're welcome to ask me any questions.
No, to that, Judge.
Thanks.
Okay, approval of minutes. February 18th, 2025.
Sorry, that's March 4th.
Say it again. Make a motion.
I make the motion.
Second. Tony's made a motion. Todd second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approval of claims and payroll.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Todd made a motion. Tony second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Myra? How are you this morning?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. Morning.
I'm Myra Albertson, and I'm representing the Washington County Community Corrections and Washington County Probation Department this morning. I had presented to you previously before this meeting the annual report that was prepared for the Washington County Community Corrections that was sent to the Indiana Department of Corrections. Do you have any questions?
I don't. Questions?
Do what now?
Did you have any questions about the annual report that you received for the Washington County Community Corrections prior to this meeting?
You understand
I
what
never received it.
you should have had it on your email.
No, that's what I said. That's what I said. Emails don't get sent to me.
We're gonna get that.
I've been nice about this shit, and now I'm getting mad about it. I can't do my job if people are supposed to do their job in front of me. Sorry.
Okay. Todd, do you have any questions?
No, I looked at it and we're in good hands. Myra does a great job and looks good to me.
So the other thing I'm here today for, as you're aware, the Washington County Community Corrections operates by grant from the Department of Corrections, and it is time to apply for the 2026 Department of Corrections grant. I'm also working on applying for a grant from the Indiana Office of Court Services to run our South Central Indiana Veterans Treatment Court, Washington County. That has been running quite a few years as well. So I'm here today to request your support for my applying for these two grants. I have a letter prepared. May I have that letter as well?
I'll make a motion that we accept the grant proposals that Myra has submitted.
Second that.
Mr. Carwell, this was sent to you on March 11th. I want to double check your email.
Okay.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Myra.
Thank you.
tower that we have here. It's located, as a couple of commissioners know, we have a newly elected commissioner that probably doesn't know some of the information regarding this communication tower, but it sets out east of Salem. It sets on private property. There are 3 guy wires that come off the communication tower. It's also grounded on private property. We were contacted a couple of years ago by ECS, who is our radio company that takes care of our maintenance of our tower and our equipment, that we needed to look into some maintenance issues on the tower. Several of those maintenance issues have already been addressed and been corrected. The one issue that remains that we have not been able to successfully get corrected is the trimming of trees that are in close proximity to this tower. The tower has been there for a number of years. It's been neglected. I have begun well over a year ago in talking to the property owners that are involved in this to see if we could get this situation taken care of. I've not had a whole lot of luck in dealing with the landowners to get this taken care of, and that's when I contacted a couple of the commissioners. And I do appreciate the efforts that you guys have put into this in trying to get this taken care of. There are currently quite a few projects going on in the county. There's going to continue to be those projects going on. Public safety has to be a top priority for everyone. With every passing season, I keep wondering about this tower and whether something or not is going to happen to this tower. You know, in the wintertime, we worry about freezing rain causing limbs to fall out of trees and potentially do damage to a guide wire or the tower. As of today, the National Weather Service confirmed that there were 10 tornadoes in the state of Indiana this past weekend. Our EMA director posted this morning that we're going to have another wind advisory tomorrow. And with every passing day, we don't know what could or could not happen to this tower, and it needs to be addressed in a very timely manner. We as elected officials, including myself, must make this a top priority and do more to bring our citizens to the table to work this out sooner than later. We cannot allow this situation to sit idle. At any moment, something could take out the communications tower. And not only is the equipment on that tower supporting Washington County Emergency Services, but it also supports part of Scott County with 800 radio service. So we wouldn't want to affect our neighbors in Scott County as well. And again, I'm going to say I appreciate the effort that Commissioner Marshall and Commissioner Ewan has put forth to this point. But we simply haven't been able to resolve this public safety issue where every second of every minute is important. You know, if a citizen is having a heart attack or a stroke, every minute counts. If a citizen has a house fire, every minute counts. If a citizen is having a physical domestic and requires the police, every minute counts. Police, fire, and EMS rely on radio communications to respond to emergencies of our citizens, and we cannot allow this to sit on the back burner until something catastrophic happens. I come to you today and ask that we all work together to resolve the public safety issue before it's too late. Not one person sitting here today wants to see something happen over a communications tower that could be a major delay of emergency services to our citizens. We all say public safety is a top priority here in Washington County. And actions speak louder than words. I'm asking that the Board of Commissioners to take the appropriate actions necessary to bring those to the table to resolve this issue so that we can get this taken care of in a timely manner.
In all honesty, Britt, not bypassing anything, we had been working on it. This contract, when trees were small, this was first done, we didn't have a problem. You not only sweat, we sweat. We don't want it to happen. We've got a couple owners of ground surrounding, and kind of got our hands tied. This contract really needs to be looked at and redone. I know when this first started out, figured we started developing problems. Now getting somebody, and Todd's been working on that with a timber cutter. We've got one of the people who's not really compliant. We're working on that. Trust me, we're not dropping this. This comes up every week. And we've instructed April to look it over and try to get it going as fast as we can. That's a poor excuse, but it's a damn truth.
We have an agreement with the northern property owner. I spoke with you yesterday, and I know you understand this, everybody else does it because they haven't heard it, but I have an agreement, a verbal agreement right now, which April's working on getting it written up, which naturally has to precede anybody going on his property in the form of an easement. The old easement was not adequate. It did not address enough of an area for us to allow us to have access to keeping these trees down. These trees grow fast. We got about a dozen that need to come down, and I honestly think that will happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks because there is a sense of urgency. The property owner to the south is another matter. You and I also spoke about that. He seems to understand the urgency, but I guess we've not been forceful enough. I don't want to get attorneys or a judge involved, but if it comes to that, we will, because if that tower goes down, someone could lose their life. We're all aware of that, and he is aware of it. But once again, just what you said, you know, actions are louder than words, and not getting any action out of him yet, but hopefully he'll come around.
With all that being said, permission of these two, would you care to take me out there and we can talk to the other gentleman who dispute over this? See if we can get this done in a quick fashion.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure that that's going to take
I
care of
just
it.
asking, I don't know.
I know that they have been making conversations with them, and I'll say that some progress has been made, and I appreciate that.
You can take them out there.
Yeah.
We don't have no problem with
I
that.
mean,
But you
people got
do have to
different
be careful.
communication forms.
With a map on here, we are restricted on where we trespass. And I realize we got license, there's other things that come into play here. And that's what we're trying to go legal to keep us out of lawsuit. And we do win every storm that comes up.
The southern property owner has told me he is working on getting us a price to clear that off. And I'm basically waiting on him to give us a number so we know what it's going to cost to take these trees out.
We've got the money for it. That's not the problem. It's getting him to move.
Right.
That's our problem.
I'm well aware of that, and again, I appreciate your efforts. I know that I did not have any luck trying myself to get this resolved. That's why I turned to you guys to get you involved to try to move this along a little quicker to try to get it done in a timely manner. It's not, I've been working on it for well over a year, and I'm not making any progress on it myself, and time is important.
We're not making much better progress, to be quite honest with you.
We did talk to the state at one time. The state's trying to buy up some towers, but the state don't want no involvement with it because of the condition right now.
Right.
If we get it cleaned out, hopefully we can go ahead and proceed with what's his name? The state. Trust me, we are working on it as fast as, it's a poor excuse, but that's the best I got.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reading 2.0, Project Lead Fairgrounds.
Yeah, the Washington County Economic Growth Partnership Director, Angie Buchanan, who had started the Fairgrounds project as the project lead to basically facilitate the grant money we're receiving for the new 4-H community building, the extension office at the fairgrounds. She resigned a couple weeks ago. That kind of put us in a little bit of a bind because she had hit the ground running and was moving forward with this. So we were going to have someone else to be the lead on this project because because there are a lot of hoops to jump through. Anytime you do a grant, there's a lot of paperwork. And she has agreed to do it on the side as a separate contract, since she is no longer a county employee. The contract amount is $5,100, and it will last through the whole process of the 4-H Extension Building project, which would start after the fair this year. And this time, I would ask for a motion to approve her contract to be the lead on this.
What's this?
This is her contract.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I don't know nothing about it, so no either way, to be honest.
If the project on Ready 2.0 comes into play, if somebody that's gonna oversee the process,
Right.
and that's about all I got to say on that. You wanna add anything?
I don't know what else I can say.
As of right now, that's about it.
You might ask Chris Fordyce, our RDA appointee, if he has anything he'd like to add about the 4-H project, or any updates that would relate to this, maybe. Do you have anything, Chris?
The only update I can give you for Ready 2 money, before any of it can be spent from the state, the Ready 1 money had to be, our threshold was 65%. We met that last week. So now, as these projects move forward, they can be invoices submitted and reimbursement can be made now. So that was a good part there. So that way, a lot of these things can get started. And
Chris, could I ask you, for people who don't know, Ready 2.0, the money coming from Ready 2.0 to Washington County, how much is that?
you mean the total amount?
Yeah, the total amount we'll receive for a benefit to the county on progress and moving forward.
It was, I'm ashamed to tell you, but it's like 7.8 million, just almost $8 million coming to the county.
I know about 20 years ago, 15 years ago, everything went to northern Indiana. Southern Indiana didn't receive very much. And with Ready, when Ready come into play, Southern Indiana did start benefiting out of some money coming to Southern Indiana.
That's correct.
And Ready 1.0 did give us a pretty good shot in the arm. That's like Community Crossing. It gave us a shot in the arm we didn't use to get. We have the same problem as Northern Indiana's got. And this is finally giving Southern Indiana a chance to benefit from the state. And Ready 2.0, through the 4-H benefit, the kids, we've got the same kids as they've got up there. And I commend you on your work to help the county out. And it's crazy not to take advantage of this. Excuse me.
Well, I certainly think, the RDA, which was the 5 counties, we received $42.5 million. And so I think we've done a good job of spreading it out as equal as we could. I mean, it wasn't equal dollar for dollar, but it was awful close. So I take pride in that, and I think there's some very viable projects, and 4-H building being one of them. I think it's good not only for 4-H kids, it's good for a community center that I feel like's needed. And so, needless to say, I'll continue continues on and gets taken care of, and it's something we can all be proud of.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. So with that motion, that's passed. You ready? Mr. Aker, you, Rick, want to come up? You need a bodyguard, maybe? You the big one.
Quick update out at the highway garage, office building. I had Ronnie Wolf come out and inspect. I think he came out on Thursday, did all the rough in inspection, liked all that. Basically told me I'm ready to go, except I do have to do a little bit of bracing that he required. He saw some bracing needs in there, and I got to build a wall that Rick and I went over for, I guess, the IT closet. So, once that gets done, we'll be able to insulate and proceed with some of the other finishes on the office. Ronnie also has, inspected the sign shed, the big lean-to. They're ready for electric. Rick and I and Mr. Cardwell were out there the other day, kind of going on the electric, kind of discussing the electric with the electrician. I'm supposed to meet him tomorrow to get the final, hey, this is what we want, and then that'll just continue on. The sign shed has the doors up, kind of a secure building out there now. So that's pretty comforting, I think, for that. The mechanics garage, I think we have worked through our 2 issues with the state fire marshal. We do have to resubmit on the firewall, and also what we're doing with the what they consider hazardous materials, the oils and stuff. We'll get that submitted here just shortly. The septic system out there and the mixed salt storage building will be submitted today for the foundations. And it's my understanding that because they are unoccupied buildings, the local inspector, which will be Ronnie Wolf, will have the final say on that design. Bill, you had talked to Duke Energy, and wants to upgrade that road a little bit for their easement work, which we will do this week. We also talked to Midwest Gas about bringing the line down from 135. The guy bore all them driveways there with Corey Baker. I think he's finishing up his work with Jackson County RMC, bringing the fiber optic over. So as soon as he's available, we'll start punching all them driveways to allow Midwest Gas to just go right under them all.
Have they run that wire for under Jackson County?
I think they were working on it last week.
I don't know if they have or not.
When I saw them out there, I don't know if they've finished yet.
Okay.
I will get with, you gave me the contact, I will get with them now.
Okay.
That's the highlights.
So, are you ready to start mowing grass?
Not ready to start mowing grass. Maybe where the septic goes, but that's about it.
Everything looking all right out there, Rick?
Yeah.
Tommy? What do you think?
All right, come on.
Appreciate it, Paul. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Boyles? We didn't stay around you either, did we?
No. Got a few updates for you here, nothing much. Had a little windstorm over the weekend. The guys cleaned up approximately 40 trees. We fared pretty well. Some surrounding counties, I think, had a little worse than us, so no complaints there. Bridge 118 on Shorts Corner is finally paved and open to the public. There's a little settling there on the northwest corner we're going to keep an eye on. May have to do a little spot paving later in the spring. I think the cat's out of the bag, but Community Crossings 2025-1, we did receive the $1.5 million grant. When we started getting that about 6-7 years ago, it was a pretty big deal, and now we just kind of take it for granted, but it's still a very big deal. Here's a copy of the roads that are included on that. I think I handed one of these out to you whenever we submitted our application. You may have misplaced it since then. Thank you. regular county paving will begin the 1st of June, not necessarily June 1st, but the first Monday in June. Community crossings, I can't tell you when I'll start, that'll be up to the contractor. We're finishing up our ditching and all our road prep, getting everything ready for paving season. About all the news I got for you.
Did, I have to talk to you, down there on Short Corner Road and, Martinsburg Road, that intersection at Mount Washington Cemetery,
Just waiting on the weather.
is that what it is?
Just letting it dry.
Did they move the electric poles for you?
Not yet, but they're supposed to be in the process. They're waiting on the weather too. Couldn't get equipment on the hillside.
Okay. And, Martinsburg?
The hole I was talking about,
Yeah.
I'll give you a picture of that if you'd like to see it. Well, the hole with the measurements. We've had a complaint. A hole fell in a lady's yard, as you know, we're kind of learning as we go with Hardinsburg. It's different than our normal daily operations. Had a call from a lady and a hole had appeared in her yard. So I went out there and investigated, and it is an old storm drain, you know, metal culvert, but it runs the entire length of your yard. It's about 165 feet from 150 to Bearcat Street. And it's, you can shove your thumb through it anywhere, it's just gone. So we need to be deciding if we're gonna take care of that or if Hardinsburg's gonna take itself over. This is just one of many examples of what we're gonna get into. But right now, I do not believe we have a right of way because we haven't adopted the roads. So that's something we need to decide, and I'll look for guidance from you all and your opinion on that.
What, the estimated cost on that repair of that?
Best I can figure without getting in there digging, it looks like it's gonna be around $7,500 roughly.
So let me ask you, with this being said, you know this area.
Yep,
With this sewer plant is, how many of these we gonna have there?
have no idea.
I mean, are they all put in about the same time?
I don't think anybody knows where anything's at, to be honest. From what I can tell. You know, as far as your fiber optic and your water, they're pretty good other than the sewer system down there and the drainage culverts, I don't think anybody.
Yeah, there's not actually a sewer system there, it's, you know, the drainage system and whatnot, so.
What's this at?
That's their, if you, right, there is the gas station.
Okay, this right here.
Yeah, so it's like cattywampus over here.
Cattywampus?
Well, no, I'm old country, redneck.
I know what he meant.
Over yonder.
Yeah.
It's kind of like cockeyed.
Yep.
Both sides. I think we need to discuss this a little bit. All right.
That's all I've got for you unless you got any questions.
Okay. Thank you, Rick. April? Kyra? Tony?
Yeah, I got one thing here, but I don't know if we need to amend the agenda or how you do that.
Well, if you're gonna change it, then you're gonna have to do something.
Well,
So you're gonna have to ask for a vote to amend the agenda.
all right, we need to amend the agenda.
You need a motion and then a second, and then discussion and a vote.
All right, make a motion to amend the agenda.
I'll second that, out of curiosity.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye.
So we amended it for,
To talk about the, planning commission. Actually got a resolution here. Adam, Thor, would you mind coming, setting up there? Me and Adam's been talking, working together on this.
okay, just so we do this procedurally, we have a motion to amend the agenda to add planning commission topic. We had a second, we voted.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was to amend it, now we need to make a motion on your agenda item. So is there, if you want to make a motion, whatever your motion might be.
So you wanna.
I guess it's really
amend
a
it,
resolution.
Now we're gonna make it on Adam the fourth. So you gonna second that?
Yeah, I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. All right. You can pass them on down if you want.
I'm lost.
All right, so you got one right there. I can
Yeah,
give you yours.
we got it, I ain't read it yet.
So after strict investigation on all the planning and zoning stuff, we figured out that the board is kind of illegal, not for the facts of what some people said, but after digging into it and all this and that, any board as such that makes a decision on behalf of the public's got to take an oath of office. So, and after digging around, we found out that the oath of office has never been taken for the planning commission. Would you like to enlighten more on that, Adam?
Well, basically, Article 15, Section 4 of the Constitution of the State of Indiana requires that every person elected or appointed to any office under the Constitution shall enter on all duties thereof, before entering on the duties thereof, take an oath or affirmation to support the Constitution of the state, the United States, and also an oath of office. This is an oath pertaining to the office itself. So, for example, the person appointed by the county council to the planning commission takes an oath for the county council as an elected official, but they have to take another oath pursuant to the office of the planning commission, and the same with the board of commissioners. So those two, basically the commissioner's oath of office doesn't work on the planning commission. The councilman's oath of office doesn't work on the planning commission. They also have to take another oath pursuant to the planning commission. And then Indiana Court of Appeals, I believe Tony probably has it listed on the resolution there, the author. In 2021 made a ruling that planning commission members are officers. That planning commission members are officers required to take the oath under IC 5411, and that would include or hold positions of authority and exercise governmental powers to benefit the public. So, and this also includes the BZA. This was a 2021 appeals court ruling that made this. You can look it up in Just Deal Law. This is the law now. So this was not the case in 2010 through 2017 when I was on the planning commission. I didn't know about this, and therefore we never did this back then because it had never been ruled on until 2021 and become law. So, pursuant to IC 5411.2D, if an individual appointed or elected to an office of a political subdivision does not comply with subsection C, the office becomes vacant. So basically, it's not, whether this resolution passes or not doesn't make the planning commission legitimate. The entire membership is actually just vacant. The board is legal because it was adopted by legal resolution in 2010. Back when I was part of the planning commission, it was a legally created board. But because this has never been complied with since 2021, when this appeals court ruling was made, the board is actually just a vacant board right now. There's only actually one legitimate member, and that would be Andrew Davidson, who was reappointed at the last council meeting, if he has gone within 30 days and filed his oath of office with the clerk of the circuit court, which is where it has to be filed at. And I went down there and checked to make sure that there was something hadn't happened that I didn't know about, and there was no, the clerk of the circuit court didn't even know what I was talking about. They were like, we don't have anything for the planning commission down here. There's no oath of office. So, and I checked with the auditor's office to make sure that, something maybe wasn't just filed in the wrong place, and it wasn't. It just had never happened. So, at any rate, that's just the long and the short of it, is that the board is just vacant because they've never complied with the Constitution of the state of Indiana under Title V. So, I've not explained it well enough, if anybody's got any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
So you're saying that I have to get an oath of office for every one of the 9 boards I sit on?
Not necessarily, because if you read the ruling, and you probably need to read the whole ruling, that's the Indiana Appeals Court ruling, it's 164 NE 3D 131, 2021 is the date. Case number 20ACT-1197. If you actually read that appeals court ruling, that officers include persons who hold positions of authority and exercise governmental powers, to benefit the public. So that's why the ruling, the court ruling was specifically for Jefferson County, Indiana, Madison, over their plan commission. And the ruling was specifically, because plan commissions, a lot of plan commissions around the state had not complied with this thing, so eventually someone took it to court, and the judge ruled that plan commissions and BZAs were required to take the oath of office. Now, whether any other boards are or not, you have to see if you, on that board, exercise governmental powers, see what I'm saying, for the welfare of the citizens. If you don't, then you're not required to take the oath of office. So, and in that ruling, if you read the ruling, the judge ruled that everything done by every plan commission up to that point was de facto legitimate. Because they said, look, we're not gonna let this lack of an oath of office undo everything done by every plan commission in the state, which is because hardly any of them had ever complied with this thing. So, but they said moving forward from 2021 on, this needs to be done so that the plan commissions are legal. Otherwise, people can come in and say, by what authority did you do this? Because you don't have an oath of office, then the board is vacant and you don't have the authority to do it. So, moving forward to make sure that the plan commission does things legally that cannot be just instantly overturned by judges, this has to be addressed.
That's easy enough.
So, any other questions?
So you're
I don't have
saying,
any.
that is the only thing that's pertaining to is the planning and zoning board
And the BZA.
and the BZA.
So, and feel free to do your own legal research and read the appeals court ruling that's listed on the resolution there. Because, like to answer Todd's question, every board that you're on does not necessarily require this oath. There are specific things that the judge ruled that were criteria for needing to have the oath. So, and there's even a standard form for the oath that is to be taken and to be on file at the clerk of the circuit court. So, and BZAs and plan commissions fall directly under that. Not only do they, but the specific ruling was over the plan commission and BZA of Jefferson County, Indiana. So it's pretty cut and dry.
So this made up a resolution here, and this would be would actually be a fix-all for that, so we can proceed
Right,
with the planning commission.
right. And the plan commission would have to be reappointed.
Right.
Because the board is vacant, there's no one on the board that is a legitimate officer at this point, except Andrew Davidson. And that's, well, it's not been 30 days, so I don't know if he's.
No, we were planning
I believe Stephanie got them particular forms, wouldn't you, that you?
Yeah, I can make up an oath.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a form, I have a copy of the form if someone would like to see it. The oath of office.
I would suggest before we get the cart before the horse here, we simply need to get a copy of those forms from the clerk and swear everybody in and problem solved.
You can't swear everybody in because they haven't done this within 30 days of their appointment. So that their seats are vacant according to Indiana code.
Well, if they're vacant according to the law, then they can be reappointed.
They have to be reappointed before they take the oath. So, Yeah, just going and filing the oath isn't gonna cut it. Did I give you a copy of the oath form?
I got it somewhere.
Did you put it in there?
Yeah, I know what. We got it somewhere there.
I've got these.
Oh, right here.
I got these one copies that I have to pass around. That's the actual form. You fill in what the office is,
Okay.
and that's, and you just, everything else is pretty cut and dry. We need to close, can swear everybody.
Clerk, commissioners, whoever, well, I've read it, so.
Yeah, there's several people that.
Dug deep in this one night.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our former attorney didn't mention this to us, and naturally, had we known it was the law of the land, we would have complied. We looked to our attorneys for guidance, and he didn't point that out, so that's all we can say.
Would you like to table this, we have a motion? So you have the opportunity to look into that.
I think we need to look into it. I would be in favor of tabling it for
I
now.
think before we table it, I need to read it, though, so.
Right, there'll need to be a motion for something.
Make a motion, we table it for now, so we can investigate, read it, see what the law actually says.
You know, Rhonda, I hate to, I don't want to bring it up, it's our age thing.
I'm the old man in the room.
You know,
I've been involved.
but at this point, I really would like some time to read. I mean, I've heard you say 13 years anyway about what we're wrong and that, and we don't try to be.
I know.
I need some more time on this, and I appreciate you, I appreciate you, I appreciate you.
I know. I'm
I
not,
want to do it right. I'm tired of this fighting back and forth, saying we got something wrong. Let's get it right.
That's what this is for.
What's the resolution?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't want to make the decision today. I'll tell you, I'll second his table today. I need some time.
I'll help you with this later on. There's some things that can happen that will actually bring the community closer to its government and actually be able to deal with it. But it was passed in 2010, Connect the Community. And it can actually be something that can be brought forward and have some clarity with government and actually save your behinds instead of me just laughing up here, back here in the row. But yeah, no, there are ways to deal with this, and it's a lot of, I've just had a lot of things going on this year, and a lot of things just bunched up, but I'm going to try to get you up and going.
The intent of this is to bring the community together and get them behind us and rally behind us instead of against us. That's the whole purpose of this, to show that us as Board of Commissioners is working in unison for something for the public. This is my intent behind this. And to make it right. And I don't care right now the way it's going on, if you try to pass a one-line ordinance on planning and zoning or 200 pages, you're gonna have an uproar. You're gonna have one. It's that daggone simple. So this right here would help men and get it fixed and for us to move forward. I ain't saying we're gonna dissolve it, we're gonna vacate it and reappoint it and get some people and working together and doing this right. That's my intent behind this.
Shouldn't it be read into record for the live streamers?
I don't think the live thing is up.
Yeah, is that the second?
I'll read it. Article 15, Section 4 of the Constitution of the State of Indiana requires that every person elected or appointed to any office under the Constitution shall, before entering on the duties, therefore take an oath or affirmation to support the Constitution of the State of the United States and also an oath of office. Whereas the Indiana Court of Appeals 164 North E 3D 131 2021 case number 20A-CT-1197 has recently affirmed that Plan Commission members or officers required to take an oath under IC 5-4-11 and that officers include the persons who hold positions of authority and exercise governmental powers to benefit the public. Pursuant to IC 36-7-4-900 series, the definition of officer applies to members of a board of zoning appeals. Whereas pursuant to IC 5-4-1-1.2, an individual appointed or elected to an official of a political subdivision must take an oath required by Section 1 of this chapter and deposit the oath as required by Section 4 of this chapter not later than 30 days after the beginning of the term of office. Pursuant to IC 5-4-1-1.2, if an individual appointed or elected to an office of political subdivision does not comply with subsection, the office becomes vacant. And whereas no member of the Washington County Plan Commission or the Washington County Board of Zoning Appeals has an oath on file in the office of Washington County Clerk of Circuit Court. Now therefore it be resolved that the County Commissioners of Washington County, Indiana declares that all the seats on the Washington County Plan Commission and Washington County Board of Zoning Appeals are vacant and need to be reappointed, refilled, paying strict attention to the qualifications of future members as to knowledge, experience, awareness of area problems, and interest in serving, as to residency requirements, as to political party affiliation, as to oath of office, and as otherwise generally required by the statutes of the state of Indiana, adopted by the county commission. I'm surprised I got read through all that back in the county commission. Had to take speech class all the way from kindergarten.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it. Appreciate your hard work.
Anything else?
I do have one thing. Believe it or not, this is something we can all get on board with, everybody. I don't know anybody in this room who likes taxes. I hate taxes. There's a bill in the Senate, Senate Bill 1461, that, in my opinion, is allowing the state of Indiana to strong-arm counties into adopting a wheel tax. Every vehicle you own will be taxed based on the number of wheels it has. No one on this board, since I've been involved in county government for going on 11 years, has ever indicated to me that they want a wheel tax. Nobody wants it. I don't want it, nobody wants it. What they're trying to do is to tie it to our community crossings grant money that we use for paving and culverts and bridges. We currently we just got word, we got $1.5 million of community crossings money from the state of Indiana, and our highway department people, Rick Boyle and Tiffany in the office, worked very hard on getting these grants through. There's a lot of paperwork, as there is with any grant, but the state of Indiana has this bill tying this, that if you don't have a wheel tax in your county, then you're not going to get this $1.5 million. And I don't know of anybody in this room who would agree with that. Not even Lucy or Rhonda.
Taxation is theft.
So, please call your senator. Is it Gary Burns sits on the committee?
The vote comes up today. Right now it stands at 69-21.
Well,
In favor of doing it.
well, get on the phone, because it's ridiculous.
And I'd like to say something on the highway department's behalf. We don't like taxes either, and we don't want a wheel tax, so I think when that time comes, we should at least give it a thought to tell them to keep their money, and we don't want a wheel tax, and we'll tighten our belts.
I would agree.
Go ahead.
Can I ask something on that? Can you clarify what we're talking about here? Because for businesses and larger vehicles, there is a heavy highway tax that already exists.
You won't
So
talk about
is this personal, a Subaru is gonna have a wheel tax on it now, or how does this, I'm not understanding.
It's
what you mean by
everybody
wheel
who has a
tax.
licensed vehicle in Washington County, we taxed per wheel,
And
period.
that
Period.
money goes to county, state, like, I'm not understanding.
Goes to the county, and then
Well-
back to it. It gets collected by the state, but then it comes back.
I'm just trying to understand
Yeah.
the difference between the two.
Basically, the state's saying you're not taxing your citizens hard enough, we
Right.
want you to tax them hard, and we're gonna
Right.
make you tax them hard. So, to push back, I think we should consider when that time comes, to keep it,
So
figure it out on our own.
that's all I have on that.
So, but we got off that, and before that got clarified what we was doing with the, plan commission resolution.
We voted, we're gonna vote to table. I made a motion to table it. I said, for right now. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Yeah,
Tony opposed. Need a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second? All in
Second.
favor, say aye.